want to give so much love to my introverts who probably make up, I don't know, I'm going to make up a random statistic here, but 95%, I don't know, the majority of my audience. Because you guys tell me your types. I have a lot of INFPs, I have some INTPs. I'm sure I've got some ISFPs in here. I've got some ISTPs because my most popular video is an ISTP video. So I probably need to do more about ISTPs. Hello, ISTPs. Where are you? You're hiding. I haven't heard from you in a while. Lots of introverts. And of course, many more. I'm sure there's ISFJs in there. And I do have INFJs. Yes. And INTJs. So love, love, love my introverts. I actually did a video years ago. I think I called it Love to Introverts or something, and hopefully I'll put a card up. I think the cards end up going here. I always point here, but then it flips it, so I think it's here. But wherever it ends up being, I will put a card up. I will try to remember to put a card up. Let's no promises, no promises. So as you all know, I am an extrovert. Although the older I get, I'm starting to skew more towards introversion because my main thing now is peace. I just want peace. And if that's solitude, which it often is, I feel you on that, introverts. I love it. I just crave peace. This world is noisy and people are crazy. So I am starting to seem like an introvert. So a lot of people think I'm an introvert, and I don't say a whole lot out in the wild. I mean, on YouTube, of course, this is where my platform to speak, because I know you're listening. I feel like in life a lot of times, and you get this, introverts, because you listen so well. That's one thing I want to say for sure. I don't have a list. I'm just going to tell you how amazing you are in so many different ways. But you're amazing at listening, and most of the world isn't. And so I realize I'm wasting my breath half the time when I say things. As terrible as that sounds, so I just don't speak up. I'm just thinking, you know what? Yep, smile and nod. So thank you for being the listeners that you are. It is so beautiful. I love your depth. There's so much in there that if people take the time to get to know you and to unfold the layers like an onion, they would be amazed. And I think it's just so unfortunate that I see it happen all the time, where people just sort of pass over introverts because you don't speak up and you're not the squeaky wheel that gets the grease, as they say. You're not that loud clamming, loud yell and clamor and banging pots and saying, look at me, like some extroverts would do. Not all extroverts. And of course it's a spectrum, right? There's super introverted people. There's some ambiverts kind of in the middle, although some people say that's technically not a thing, because if you have cognitive functions, how can you be an ambivert? But I believe there are people that are sitting kind of in the middle, and that's sort of where I feel like I fall, is closer to the middle. And then you've got your super extroverted people that just have to be around people, have to talk, have to just almost have the world as their stage, and they have to be on it, and they have to be very flamboyant and woo. Oh, and the light, you know what? I wanted to capture the cool lighting today if I can. We'll see. So I may have to move myself a little bit. I love when it comes across my face. I don't know, but it's just, it's become my thing. Ooh, I love that. And I'm trying not to say ums as much. I just did it. That's okay. I'm sure you guys don't care, but I have noticed it. It's driving me mad, and so I'm working on that. Introverts, what has been your experience being on this crazy world that often caters to extroverts? I've noticed it. Well, now since the pandemic, now it feels like we're catering to introverts with food delivery services. You really don't have to. You can order online on apps, and then you can just pick up your food. I'm thinking actually this morning, because it's half off a coffee, it's a giant coffee establishment that shall not be named. I'm thinking I may treat myself. I haven't done that in a long time. I usually make my tea or coffee at home. So it does seem like it's getting more introverted, as far as like when we had the quarantine and things like that. That's when I realized, whoa, if you invert the world, if you're an extrovert and you quarantine, it's hard. Just like for introverts, having to be in an extroverted world where you have to sit there and talk to people all the time, it is not fun. But yeah, I wanted to say as well that most of my friends, at least my close friends, are introverts. My best friend, if she's watching, hello, is an INFJ. And I've always gravitated towards introverts. Even as a teacher, my favorite students are all introverts. They are just so sweet. And of course, right, that makes sense as a teacher because the extroverted kids are the ones that are talking the whole time and, making a fuss. Whereas the introverts are just trying to work and trying to learn. And I can tell sometimes they're irritated. The extroverts are just making all this noise. And this isn't meant to be an introvert versus extrovert thing. They're all beautiful in their own ways. And I'm sure as an introvert, you're probably attracted or drawn to extroverts. So you see their strengths in a way that I may not view them. I grew up with 2 extroverted parents. Woo! And it felt like it was just nonstop going until they got divorced, and then I got an introverted stepdad, but that's a whole different thing, and we're not going to go into my childhood issues. But I love you guys. I love, like I said, your depth. I love that you listen. You have passion and hobbies that you really deep dive into. I think that's just such a beautiful thing. You have a softness about you, this aura that's just gentle. Usually it's like a gentle, meek spirit, and they say the meek shall inherit the earth, so the world is your oyster, introverts. It's just so incredibly lovely. And I won't make this too long. Like I said, I made a video about this in the past. I'm probably hitting on a lot of the same points, and there's so many things I want to say, but honestly, I didn't think about this before. I just wanted to give you guys love and let you know that you are seen and you are heard and you are valued, because I do think oftentimes introverts get overlooked in this world, and it's not right. It drives me mad. I see it all the time because that's what ENFJs do. We're scanning the room for who's left out, who's the underdog, who needs to be brought in to the circle, who feels sad. It's just how I'm wired. So I've been noticing that. Especially as a teacher, I notice the introverts sometimes get sort of left out. But if you get adopted by an extrovert, sometimes that can be fun. I know you guys probably had that experience. There's probably at least one extrovert that has brought you under their wing. And you're strapped in and going along for the ride, whatever that looks like, whoever your extroverted friend is. So it's just so beautiful that we're all so different and we all have our strengths. And I will tell this story. When I was in pre-K, we had a little graduation. And this is when I should have known my type, although I didn't know typology when I was 4. But I wish we would teach it to kids so they could learn about themselves and others. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. If there's a way to create something that could go into school systems and be taught for kids. If you know of something, if you have any ideas, let me know, or we can collaborate. You can reach out to me, RebeccaPebble@yahoo.com. But I remember I was wearing my little cap and gown. This is 4-year-old Rebecca. And I'm sitting next to this kid. I don't know what his type is. Maybe he was an introvert. Probably because I was talking his ear off. I was more extroverted, I think, at certain points in life. And then, I don't know, it's interesting how it ebbs and flows. But I remember wanting to show him my dress so bad. There's my extroverted sensing, right? Wanting him to see how I dolled myself up. I had this cute floral dress underneath my gown because we had the cap and gown. And there's a video of me somewhere. I don't know where it is since my mom passed away. I probably will never see it again. It's probably gone. But I lifted up my gown to show him. And in the video, you could see me showing him my dress. And I'm talking to him like, isn't this pretty? And I don't know. I just think that's the extrovert-introvert dynamic, is the extroverts usually trying to engage the introvert in some capacity, and it's just adorable. So thank you, introverts, for existing. Thank you for listening to me. And if you're an extrovert, hey, you're amazing as well. I may have to do a video about why extroverts are awesome, but I feel like my audience is mostly introverts, so I want to give them that love. And they do have a soft spot in my heart. I don't know what it is. I'm always really attracted to introverted men over extroverted men. I've dated extroverts, but I really find myself most times just so drawn to introverted men because their minds are just this beautiful landscape that I want to explore because I'm just like, oh, I love a smart brain. I love a deep thinking brain. So that's where I am. So I love you guys. I wish you the most beautiful day, and I will see you in the next one.